The topic of discussion is macromolecules, and the subtopic is properties of enzymes. So here are the characteristics of enzyme. The first one is specificity. Enzymes are specific in their action, which means that an enzyme will act on only one substrate or a group of closely related substrates. Because enzymes are specific in their action, so they can only act on one substrate or a group of closely related substrates. For example, hexokinases catalyzes conversion of hexoses to 6-phosphate derivatives. So ये जो है ये एक group of closely related substrates पे act करेगा सारी की सारी hexoses पे, while glucokinase is specific for glucose only. So in this diagram you can see वही substrate enzyme के साथ bind करेगी that would be similar in shape with the active site. So substrate will bind with the active site, enzyme product complex will form, and enzyme and products will leave the active site. The next characteristic is protein nature. Enzymes with few exceptions are proteins produced by living cells, act in vivo as well as in vitro, inside the cell or inside the test tube. The third characteristic is isoenzymes. These are the enzymes from the same organisms which catalyze the same reaction but are chemically and physically distinct from each other. वो enzymes जो एक ही organism से produce होते हैं लेकिन वो chemically और physically distinct होते हैं इससे. एक ही organism से produce होंगे, एक ही reaction को catalyze करेंगे, but they are chemically and physically distinct from each other. For example, gene B, gene C, gene D, and gene E. They produce enzymes, that is enzyme B, C, D, and E, and they have different functions like they are involved in the muscle cells, they code for stomach, they code for AMPLU, and they for cancer cells or normal cells. The next characteristic is direction of enzyme. Most enzymatic reactions are reversible, proceed in both directions. Next is the effect of enzyme concentration on its activity. Rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration of substrate. जितनी ज़्यादा substrate की concentration होगी, rate of reaction उतना ज़्यादा increase हो जाएगा. Rate of reaction is directly proportional to square root of concentration of enzyme. So अगर हम concentration of enzyme की बात करें तो rate of reaction जो है वो directly proportional है square root of concentration of enzyme. Substrate में there is no involvement of square root, जबकि enzyme में there is an involvement of square root. So अगर हमारे पास substrate 49 times increase हो रही है तो rate of reaction भी 49 times increase होगा. लेकिन अगर हमारे पास जो concentration of enzymes 49 times increase हो रही है तो rate of reaction जो है वो 7 times increase होगा. So if there is increase in concentration, there would be increase in the rate of reaction. So here is a graph between the rate of reaction and substrate concentration. Initially जब हमारे पास enzymes ज़्यादा थे, substrate कम थे, we added substrate और जो rate of reaction था वो increase हुआ. But एक point आएगा जब सारे के सारे enzymes जो है वो saturate हो जाएंगे और जब हम लोग ज़्यादा substrates add करेंगे तो उसका कोई effect नहीं आएगा unless until हम enzyme की concentration को ज़्यादा कर देंगे. So here is a graph between rate of reaction and enzyme concentration, representing that there is a direct relation between rate of reaction and enzyme concentration. Here we have a practice MCQ. If substrate concentration is increased 3 times, rate of reaction will be increased 2 times, increased 3 times, decreased 3 times, increased 9 times. And the correct option is increased 3 times. So the next factor is temperature. Optimum temperature for human body is about 37 degrees Celsius. Rate of reaction increases with increase in temperature. जैसे जैसे हम temperature increase करेंगे वैसे वैसे rate of reaction भी increase होगा. Enzymes usually destroyed at high temperature, but एक certain level से जब हम temperature exceed करेंगे तो enzymes जो हैं वो destroy हो जाते हैं. Optimum temperature is that temperature at which enzymes work at its best, and that is about 37 degrees Celsius. So in this diagraph you can see कि जिस तरह temperature increase हो रहा है वैसे वैसे rate of reaction भी increase हो रहा है, but एक certain point तक जब उससे increase होगा तो enzyme जो है वो denature शुरू हो जाएगा और इसकी जो activity है वो decrease हो जाएगी. So this was all about the properties of enzymes. I hope you have understood it well, and thank you so much.